Please restart Blender after removing the previous version of the add-on. Okay, now that's out the way. Hi everyone, version 6 of ByGen is finally here. You can pick it up on Gumroad, Blender Market, QBrush, ArtStation, or GitHub. It's completely free to download, although it's priced at $1 on Blender Market, and that's because they don't allow free products, but a percentage of the income goes straight towards the Blender Development Fund. And because it's free, any donations are highly appreciated. So let's get into it. What we're going to do in this video is just quickly run through all the features of the add-on. I won't be going into too much detail because we'll be here for hours, so instead I'll just give you a brief overview. But if you want to find more information about how to use the add-on, then you can find documentation at curtisholt.wiki. This will take you to a Notion page where you can find information on each of the major pillars, which are modify styles, structured generators, scattering techniques, and the interpreter. First of all, we have modify styles. Now if you've used ByGen before, then you'll already be familiar with this. Basically, what happens is you choose an object in your scene, you choose a modifier style from the drop-down in the ByGen toolbar, and then you apply it to the object. This will then construct a non-destructive modifier stack for the selected effect, which can then be modified to create cool results. A new style that was added in version 6 is called the Destructor, and I think it's now my favorite style because it allows for a wide range of effects by changing a few simple parameters. If too much of your object disappears when applying the style, go to the build modifier, set randomize to true, and then reduce the start value. I may demonstrate this in more depth in the future with some tutorials, but for now we'll move on to talking about the new structured generator features. Structured generators can be used to create randomized objects from collections of pre-made parts. There are two main types of generators, which are layered and branched. Layered is for objects where specific types of parts need to connect together at pre-designated locations for each part. If you've ever seen the standalone random weapon and mech generators are made for Blender, then you'll understand how this works. Basically, you design collections for each type of part, fill them with a variety of models, create empty children called position reference objects to inform the generator where other objects should be placed, and then let the code do the rest for you. In the standalone mech generator, the script was hard-coded for that specific type of structure. At the time of making it, I did have a version of the script that was abstract, meaning it would accept any kind of structure with an infinite number of layers. At the time, I decided to keep that to myself with the intention of using it for a paid generation framework in the future. But as my plans changed, I decided to include it for free with this new version of ByGen. This means that the layer generation mode is the abstract version of the script that will allow you to do any kind of structural nested generation. For example, you could do a weapon generator which has a scope, which also has a scope, which has a smaller scope, which has an even smaller scope. You get the idea. For branch generators, you need a collection for every type of three-dimensional junction. Then by changing the operator parameters, you provide minimum and maximum lengths for each branch, and then let the generator do its thing. With future versions, more flexibility can be added to these structural generators. When it comes to making parts for the different types of junctions, I've chosen conventional rotations for each of the parts, and these are consistent with the free version of the Space Station generator. So if you want to make your own parts for the branch generation method, I suggest downloading the free version of the Space Station generator and then seeing how all the base parts are orientated. Now I move on to the scattering techniques. Recently, I released a city scattering tool, which allowed you to scatter objects in a way that would let you generate skylines in just a few clicks. There was a circular method which had a large to small distribution of objects depending on proximity to the center of the city. As well as that, there was a rectangular mode which allowed for grid-based layouts, which also opens the way for connective street-level content provided the street objects are joined to the main building objects. This code has been included with ByGen version 6, and you can find the operations by going to Shift-A, ByGen, Scatter, and then both the methods will appear there. One of the lesser-known features of ByGen is the interpreter. What it does is allow you to convert modifier stack data into a text-based format. It does this by outputting and inputting data from text objects in the text editor window. Although most people won't have much use for this, it's good for a few edge cases, such as sharing modifier combinations with other people over the web without transferring files, creating libraries of custom modifier styles inside of blend files identifiable with a text name, which can then be easily applied to objects with only one click, making changes to modifier values without affecting the target object, then applying the stack in one go, which is good for situations where the results take a long time to calculate, and real-time modification of the values is not a viable option, such as with objects that have high numbers of polygons. Anyway, that covers the main pillars of the add-on: modifier styles, structural generators, scattering techniques, and the interpreter. Feel free to get yourself a copy of ByGen, and also consider leaving a tip. I appreciate every small amount because it really goes a long way to making sure I can do this full time. Alright, now we've taken a look at ByGen, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the sponsor for this video, which is Sketchfab. You may already know Sketchfab for providing the best 3D model viewer for the web, but you might not know that they actually have an online store for buying and selling 3D models. You can use the inbuilt model inspector to preview the geometry of the mesh and all the textures so you know exactly what you're getting. There's a wide variety of content available and a good number of dedicated artists providing high quality content. It's also just fun to look around all the models in a 3D space. If you're interested in maybe selling your own models on the store, then you can also consider applying to become a seller. Sketchfab is well integrated with the Blender community, and overall they provide valuable tools for all kinds of artists. So thanks for sponsoring the video, Sketchfab, and thanks to all of you for watching. Don't forget to download a copy of ByGen. You can follow me on social media to keep up to date, and even join our Discord server to take part in discussions, share your work, and get sneak previews of upcoming projects. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Okay, now I've reached the end of the video, so all rules are off the table. I don't have to be nice anymore. So for any of you that want to email me the same support question again and again, I have one question for you, which is, have you tried turning it off and on again?